Your next phone is going to cost more, and the reason is artificial intelligence, even if you never open a single AI app. The memory chips inside your phone and laptop have, in some cases, more than doubled in price in a single year. Not because the devices got better, because AI data centers are quietly eating the world's supply of memory, and you're the one left paying for what's gone. Here's how a chatbot you've never used ends up on your receipt. Start with the basics. Every phone, every laptop, every console needs memory, the chips that hold what your device is actively doing. For decades, that memory got cheaper and more plentiful almost every year. It was the most boring, reliable bargain in tech. And just 3 companies, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, make over 95% of the world's supply. So when those 3 change who they sell to, the whole planet's electronics feel it. In 2026, they changed. Here's what changed. AI chips don't use the same memory your phone does. They need a special premium kind called HBM, high bandwidth memory, where a dozen memory chips are stacked into a single cube. And they need a staggering amount of it. One of NVIDIA's AI chips uses around 96 memory dies. A single AI server, with 8 of those chips, needs over 760 memory dies, just for the AI memory alone. Your entire smartphone? It has the equivalent of roughly 1. Multiply that by millions of AI chips, and you start to see the size of the appetite. And this is where you get hit, because it's a zero-sum game. That premium AI memory is built on the same factory lines as your phone's memory, but it eats far more of them. Making 1 gigabyte of HBM uses roughly 3 times the wafer capacity of normal memory. So every wafer the factories turn into AI memory is a wafer they don't turn into a phone or a laptop. Faced with a choice, the 3 makers did the rational thing. They shifted capacity to AI memory, where the margins are 3 to 5 times higher. Same factories, different customer, and it isn't you. How tight did it get? Both Micron and SK Hynix have said their entire memory output for 2026 is already sold out, spoken for before the year even really began. The buyers are the AI giants, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, signing multi-year contracts that lock up capacity for years at premium prices. A single one of these supply deals can account for 35 to 40% of the world's memory wafer capacity. When the biggest buyers reserve the factory years in advance, everyone else gets what's left over and pays whatever it costs. So prices did what prices do when supply vanishes. They exploded. Memory analysts at TrendForce called the increase unprecedented. Average memory prices jumped 50 to 55% in a single quarter. Mobile memory, the kind in your phone, saw contract prices rise around 90% in 1 quarter. Some types nearly doubled. To put it in your device, memory used to be about 1/5 of what a laptop costs to build. It's now heading past 30%. That increase doesn't vanish. It rolls downhill, straight to the price on the shelf. Now make it concrete. The research firm IDC expects the price of the average smartphone to rise by 3 to 5% in a mild scenario and 6 to 8% if it gets worse. The whole smartphone market could actually shrink this year by as much as 5%, as fewer people upgrade. Brands have 2 bad options: raise the price or quietly cut the specs, less memory in the box for the same money. Either way, you get less phone for more. And the squeeze isn't spread evenly. Here's the part that's easy to miss. Apple and Samsung saw this coming. They locked in memory contracts 12 to 24 months ahead, so they're partly shielded. But budget phone makers, the ones selling sub-$100 Android phones, don't have that kind of buying power. They can't absorb the cost, so they pass it straight to the customer. And those customers are often in the places that can least afford it. First-time phone buyers in Africa and South Asia, where a phone is a gateway to the internet itself. So the bill for an AI boom in California lands, in part, on someone buying their first smartphone in Lagos or Dhaka. You might think, shortages end, prices come back down. Usually, yes. But this one is different. The shortage in 2021 was a supply problem. Factories shut during the pandemic, then reopened, and supply caught up. This time, it's a demand problem. AI keeps growing, and so does its hunger for memory. New factories are being built, but a memory fab takes years. The big new ones won't reach full production until 2027 or 2028, and some not until 2030. Intel's chief executive put it bluntly: no real relief until 2028. A demand-driven shortage doesn't fix itself. It just waits for the world to build its way out. Now let's not over-dramatize it. This isn't the end of affordable electronics. Memory makers are pouring record money into new capacity, and a lot of that revenue is reinvestment. In richer markets, most people will just absorb the cost through financing and upgrade a little later. And notice something in the numbers. Memory revenue is up over 140% in a year, but that's mostly price, not more chips. The same amount of memory is making far more money. So this is a reallocation and a squeeze, not a collapse. And if AI demand ever cools, the whole cycle could swing back the other way. So here's what's really happening. For decades, memory was a commodity. Boring, abundant, and getting cheaper every year for everyone. Artificial intelligence turned it into a strategic asset. Scarce, premium, and sold first to whoever pays the most. And that's no longer you. The deeper truth is that the cost of the AI boom never disappeared. It just got redistributed. Every AI query has a physical footprint: power, water, and silicon. And part of that bill is being quietly paid by people who will never run a single model, in the form of a phone that costs a little more, in a place that can least afford it. The cloud feels weightless. It isn't. Someone, somewhere, is always carrying the weight. 3 things to take with you. 1. Your devices are getting more expensive because AI data centers are buying up the world's memory, not because the devices improved. 2. It's a structural shift, not a quick blip. Relief isn't expected until 2027 at the earliest. 3. The cost lands hardest on the cheapest devices and the poorest buyers, while the AI giants lock in supply years ahead. One honest caveat: this market moves every quarter, forecasts shift, and a slowdown in AI spending could change the whole picture fast. So I'll leave you with this. If the cloud is invisible, who's carrying its weight? And is that fair? Tell me below. And if you want the next breakdown, you know what to do.